It appears you've been snowrunning.
It's gonna be exciting! Out of the way! Isn't it thrilling? Faster than anyone else! No one can stop me! To the max!
Good fucking trailer. You'll be right. Let me introduce you to the first Descendant, because 9 times out of 10, you probably don't know what this game is, just like me. But it's on my radar now, and it should be on yours too. Now you might be wondering, what even is the first Descendant? And honestly, to give you an answer, I don't even really know how to explain it, but I do at the same time. You know, it's your classic looter shooter third person type of vibe, but there's something about it when you watch the gameplay. It has an Destiny atmosphere, but has the gameplay of a title like Warframe, and it's really interesting because I used to be super addicted to Warframe, and I like really couldn't get off that game, and I'm really hoping that this game is the same, but who really knows what's, gonna happen with this game. But I really hope this is a game that doesn't die out in the first month, because that would be pretty sad, because this game actually looks like it has a lot of potential. And one thing about the new closed beta coming up is there is a lot to look at. 11 new characters. Oh, not new, but there are 11 characters. There are 2 ultimate characters. Actually, there might be 2 new characters coming into the game. There are 50 plus weapons. There are 3 fields, and this, what I will say, is a pretty big map. That it is very big. And another thing is there are a lot of improvements and fixes, and I'll go over that later, because this dev team seems to be really connected to the community and fixing what they're like really talk about. There are a lot of games that don't do that. Anyways, there are 300 plus modules. Modules are kind of like mods in Warframe. Like, you see where I'm going with this, right? It seems like a mix of Warframe and Destiny to me, but it has its own little spin to it, and I can't really put my finger on it. But yeah, that's pretty much what the first Descendant is. And on to the most important part. Now, when you're looking at this game, you'll like instantly get a feeling of, holy shit, I am playing Warframe in 2023. Now, you might be wondering, how? Like, I don't know if it's the UI of the game, if it's like how the movement actually feels and how it actually looks, but something about it is really giving me a Warframe vibe, and it's really refreshing, because recently there haven't been many games like Warframe, and I feel like Warframe was very unique in its own way, and it's just something about this just looks so good to me. And one thing I will say just by looking at it is that the ad density in this game, I would say the ad density is pretty low. I don't know if they fixed that or not. I didn't fully look through the dev notes, but I will later. But the ad density does seem pretty low. But when it comes to boss fights and
Things of that nature,
they look pretty good. It looks like, your regular looter shooter. Not too overcomplicated, but not too simple to have you drooling over the boss fights. Now, on top of that, what I will say is most characters, or Descendants, what they're called, their ability set is pretty cool. Now, obviously, the basic champions, the beginner champions, always probably have the most basic abilities, and it's not that cool looking, but there are other Descendants in the game that look pretty cool along with their abilities. Now, my personal favorite would definitely be Bunny. Why? Because I like Volt and I like Gauss from Warframe. And Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap! Descendant. So that's personally my favorite, and there are a lot more. I'll leave a link in the description to every every Descendant in the game and what they do, their abilities, all that, so you can really look at it yourself. I could go over it in another video, maybe tomorrow or in 2 days, whenever I feel like uploading. But you know, that part is really amazing. The abilities, along with the gunplay, really brings it out, and I feel like that's what really makes this a top tier looter shooter, or hopefully to be a top tier looter shooter. And I hope that the devs continue to stay with the community and not forget about us, you know? So that's enough for the gameplay for now. And on to what I would like to say, the make or break for games nowadays. Let's go. Alright, so when it comes to this games and this dev team, when it comes to communicating with their players, it seems outstanding. 11 out of 10. Because when I have watched reviews of this video, there are people saying there's problems with this, there's problems with that, and you look at these things they have called dev notes, and they go over mostly almost everything I've seen people complain about, brothers. And they fixed it or changed it to the way people want it. And I will show you an example on screen now. They have their Discord with like a whole bunch of things, you know. They have their FAQ where you can like really see questions that you probably obvious answers to. You can just go on there and check real quick. You know, they have links for everything where you need to go. And here's the dev notes section. I feel like this is the most important section out of the entire Discord. It tells you everything that they've changed through updates, everything, all feedback. They even show you new things that they add, you know. They're not just changes, they show you new things. And if we go here and look on the actual website of dev note, you'll see this is a pretty long page of fixes and changes and new things added, and this is the 5th note. There are 5 of these, and there are probably more to come. Maybe, just maybe, there might be one more before the game comes out in 3 days, but who knows, you know? We don't know. We're not the devs, but I would assume, and I would say that there might be one more, but the game looks pretty good to me already. But like I said, there's also the polls. The polls, we don't know if these are actually going to make a change to the game, but if they do, that's even better. And that's why I'd say that this game and this dev team, as long as they keep this up, this could be one of the new greatest games to come out. Because if a dev team has bad communication, the game is just no longer fun. And I feel like a lot of people can agree with that, because there are problems that won't be fixed, and it's just, you know, it's just not okay. So, like I said, that's the make or break for this game. As long as the dev team keeps the communication, this game will 100% take off. And that's how I feel about it. On to the last thing, and I would say it's kind of the make or break as well, but it depends on who's playing, you know? So let's go. So when it comes to replayabilities in looter shooters, it's kind of hard to have a lot of diversity, because a looter shooter is a looter shooter. You shooting and you looting. It's hard to have diversity in it, because you think about it like this. There are most likely going to be weapons like how Destiny has their exotics, and they may come from a certain mission or a certain objective. You might be farming that over and over again, but that's not the game's fault. It's at the player, because they really want that weapon. But at the same time, what you have to realize is it's still just a looter shooter. So one thing I think that would, you know, be amazing to like fix this would be have multiple mission types instead of just killing enemy waves, defending this point, doing a convoy like in Overwatch, like escorting a payload. but it's kind of hard to do that because what else can you do unless they maybe add dungeons in the game? And dungeons, I feel like dungeons have a lot of replay value if you are, I wouldn't say a pro player, but I'd say somebody who plays the game a lot. I feel like dungeons are better for people like that. But for casuals, I don't know. I feel like if you're a casual player, the replayability matters but doesn't matter at the same time. I don't really know how to explain it, because if you're being a casual, you're just playing it to play it. But for people who like really are hard playing the game, you know, I think dungeons are pretty good because it always gives a challenge. It always gives like, how fast can you beat the dungeon? Can you beat the dungeon with this limitation? Can you know, things like that. But what I don't want to see is just the regular kill waves, defend this point, defend this thing over and over and over again. That could get boring quickly. That could definitely get boring quickly. And I feel like a way to combat that other than the dungeons would be story. Hopefully the story is actually pretty decent, because I feel like that's what really kept me in Warframe. And you know, Warframe was pretty much kill this wave, defend this, defend that. But at the same time, you were also running through a huge map with movement, so that made it fun. It's just taking away from the aspect of I'm just looting and shooting, because the movement makes it more fun. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but you may understand what I'm saying. You just might. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only way to have good replayability is to not recycle the same missions over and over again and just reskin them. And if that happens, this would for sure be the game. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I'll leave you with this little boss fight here just so you can see a little bit more of how the game is and how, well, can't really see how it feels because you're just watching the video, but you know, you'll see it. It's pretty simple. It's just the beginner boss, and not much is really gonna happen here. But I'll still let you watch it, and that's all I have. Hopefully, I just put this game on your radar, and you can check it out September 19th all the way to the 26th, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, hey, don't forget to sub. Don't forget to like the video, please. Also, please comment. I don't even care. You can just put a period in the comment section. You can literally just put a period. Just anything's gonna help me out. So that being said, hope y'all enjoy your day, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Peace out.
Alpha, I lost the heart. It's all my fault.
Karel must not capture all of the Iron Hearts. We have to find the remaining two before he does. Sorry, no time to rest.